Have you started your Christmas list? Things may seem a bit unusual this time around, but I'm sure you can still tick off some things, whether those are tangible items or simply peace of mind or financial soundness. Now that's where Jamaica Magazine comes in. So, welcome to today's watch. I'm Theodore Henry, ready to engage you in a bit of festivity and a whole lot of information. Let's start with the news.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, December 9. A budget of $43 million has been approved for the management of the island's end-of-life pneumatic or used tire industry. This follows Cabinet's approval of the National Program for the Environmentally Sound Management of End-of-Life Pneumatic Tires. Information Minister Fable Williams says the allocations will begin this fiscal year. She says the tires can be made useful for several purposes, including co-processing in cement kilns, asphalt mix for road construction, and for the construction of sports grounds.
At present, there is no national program to address the management of the 2 million end-of-life or used tires that are generated in Jamaica annually.
Minister Williams says the total allocation for the program will be evenly apportioned in the recurrent budgets of the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development and the Ministry of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change to support the execution of the national program. End-of-life tires are those that could not or were not reused for the originally intended purpose and are not retreaded. The Ministry of Health and Wellness has named a National COVID-19 Vaccine Commission, which is comprised of a multidisciplinary, multi-stakeholder group of persons. Members are drawn from the Ministries of Health and Finance, the National Health Fund, the Medical Association of Jamaica, the Nurses Association of Jamaica, and the Jamaica Medical Doctors Association. Commission representatives also include the University of the West Indies, the Jamaica Council of Churches, the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, and the Jamaica Defense Force. As he announced to the Commission during Tuesday's sitting of Parliament, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton said the body had its first meeting earlier that day.
The responsibilities of the Commission, Madam Speaker, include the following: providing guidance and oversight in the development of a national COVID-19 deployment and vaccination plan for the introduction of the COVID-19 vaccine, provide oversight in the designing of strategies for the deployment, implementation, and monitoring of a COVID-19 vaccine in Jamaica, provide guidance in ensuring that the plan and related financing is well aligned to other national COVID-19 recovery and response support plans, and that implementation is fully integrated and coordinated.
The Commission will also guide the implementation of an operations plan and a public education campaign and assess the capacity and readiness of the health services delivery of vaccines and other essential supplies. Minister Tufton says a national vaccination deployment plan is also being finalized by the Commission. In the meantime, the Health Minister says 16% of the island's population will be targeted in the first phase of COVID-19 vaccine distribution.
The intention is to prioritize the vaccination of our health workers who are at the very high risk of acquiring and transmitting infection, and our older adults who we understand are among the most vulnerable to adverse outcomes and death associated with COVID-19 infection.
Of the 16%, 1% will be targeted for the administering of vaccines by April 2021. By mid-2021, another 3% will be targeted, and the remaining percentage by the end of next year. Jamaica is procuring a vaccine through the Global Access COVAX facility, which is a partnership involving the World Health Organization, the World Bank, and others. The island has already made a down payment to access a safe and effective COVID-19 vaccine. As at December 2, there were 51 candidate vaccines in clinical evaluation, 11 of which are in Phase 3 trials. Another 163 candidate vaccines are in preclinical evaluation. The health minister says that at this time, the vaccine being administered in other jurisdictions is not part of the COVAX facility, but there are 3 other vaccine candidates that are in the final phases of development and approval. Residents of Westmoreland are being warned that they could face even tighter COVID-19 restrictions due to a spike in cases across the parish. In Parliament Tuesday, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton revealed that in the past month, the number of confirmed cases moved from 245 to 460. In the last 2 weeks, over 100 newly confirmed COVID-19 cases were recorded in the parish. Dr. Tufton says 12 of the 22 deaths recorded in Westmoreland were in the last 2 weeks. COVID-19 admissions at the local hospital have also steadily increased in the last 3 months. The health minister says intervention and testing by the ministry show a 15% positivity rate across the parish, which is higher than the national average. 80% of all communities are showing active cases, with persons presenting with varying degrees of severity of the respiratory illness. Dr. Tufton says surveillance revealed that the infections are being driven by illegal parties being hosted at bars and corner shops, night-nights, wakes, and bike parties.
We are giving notice, Madam Speaker, that we can't continue to tolerate this type of disregard for the protocol. And if the present measures are not adhered to, and we do not see a change in the trajectory over the next few days, then new restrictions will be imposed on the parish to effect that change. And these restrictions can be anything from tighter curfew hours to suspension of certain activities, even the limited activities that are currently allowed.
And finally, another 125 schools will be allowed to resume face-to-face classes. The additional schools include 66 secondary and 59 primary institutions. Education Minister Favour Williams made the disclosure during Tuesday's sitting of the House of Representatives. Minister Williams says the schools were approved by the Ministry of Health as being COVID compliant and are deemed satisfactory for the phased face-to-face reopening. The decision also followed the successful completion of the pilot reopening of 17 schools in November. Along with the 17 pilot schools, 22 others out of the selected 125 are now engaged in face-to-face classes, having been approved to start on December 7 and end on December 18. The remaining 86 schools indicated their preference to begin face-to-face on January 4, 2021, the start of the new school term.
As we move forward, Madam Speaker, and as the Ministry of Health continues its physical inspection of schools, the number of schools that can resume face-to-face will increase. Madam Speaker, we have already had consultations with principals of these schools who are already beginning to be in contact with parents. Schools are encouraged to make full use of all the approaches, online, audiovisual, and the learning kit. While engaged in the face-to-face, schools should also use the rotational approach in which some of their students will be in the physical classroom while others will utilize remote learning.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Hi everyone, I'm Shaquille Hines, media practitioner, and I've been doing this for, so that's not the most important figure here. Rather, my favorite time of the year is coming up, Christmas. And of course, there's a whole lot of spending and splurging that is often associated with the period. What I'm really trying to say is that I'm no financial expert, but like you, I'm concerned about how we can all save a dime or two while making every cent count. Besides, if we've learned anything over the past few months, it's that the biggest certainty in life is uncertainty. These are uncertainties that you may need to save for. So I decided to meet with the experts for their 2 cents on how we can all pinch the penny this Christmas.
Thanks, Shaquille. I'm Michelle. I'm the financial expert, and I love Christmas, the fun, the frolic, the friends, but we gotta do it on a budget. So today I'm gonna give you some tips as to how to do exactly that. Thank you so much are the words we want to hear when we give a gift, But how do we spread love and good cheer to those that we hold dear and still have money left over for next year? So therefore, it means that we need to have a lot of creativity added in, tubs of energy, and then a lot of love. So today I'm going to take you through 3 questions you need to ask yourself in making sure that you get the right gift for the right person, and take you through how the love languages will help you to gift the special gift to those that you love. So the 3 questions are: 1, what's the max I can spend? 2, to whom must I give a gift? And 3, what is their love language? So 1, what's the max that I can give? Listen, essential expenses are exactly that, essential. So therefore, in terms of credit card payments, whatever other loan payments, your utilities, etc., they are still essential. So those things must be covered first. How much money do you have after all of that? That is your budget for this Christmas. Number 2, to whom should you give a gift? To all the people who have done some fabulous things for you this year. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to use the 5 love languages. And guess what? 4 of them require no spending at all. The 5 love languages are touch, time, affirmation, service, and gifts.
Interesting. But Michelle, how exactly do I translate those 5 love languages into actual Christmas gifts?
So touch. These people love your physical touch. So what could you give them? You could probably do up a gift certificate for a massage, a foot rub. What else can you think of? Time. These people need quality time with you, so why not give that to them? And you know, this may be something really great for grandparents. So how about doing up a coupon that says me and you? For X number of hours in the day, you choose the date. So affirmation, your words of affirmation, your words telling them all that they mean to you. So how about making a card or purchasing a card, but you write in your own special words? Acts of service. This is doing something specific for that individual, something that really means a lot to them. So how about the couple that you love who have a little one? How about making a coupon to say, hey, for one night I'll babysit while you do something romantic together? So now that we've covered the 4 that do not require any money at all, now let's look at the one that can require a little bit of money. And that one is gift giving. But make it special. What people want are good memories to say, wow, I got this from this person and they really thought about me.
Thanks, Michelle. Sounds pretty simple and cost-effective, right? Well, as you think about who you give your time, your affirmation, acts of service, or just your physical gifts this Christmas, there are some other things you could consider doing to have a frugal yet fun Christmas. But also bear in mind that this time around, things may look a little different.
Well, Christmas this year is going to be different, eh? A lot of people have lost their jobs, number 1. Number 2 is still in a COVID environment, which means that you're not going to be able to be having large gatherings. It's going to be a little more toned down now because of those 2 things. But the truth is that you still can enjoy what the real meaning of Christmas is. And I think this has given us the opportunity to get back to the real meaning of Christmas. So it's about spending time with family and friends, but you can still have that family dinner. And to cut down on the amount of money, maybe one person will host it, but persons come together, you know, and provide the meal. Always remember also that you can't spend more than what you have, and the truth is that it's not really just about the gifts, but the act of giving. So you can do things. You can make gifts, for example. If someone is a creative person, you know, you can make gifts. You can give things that don't really cost a lot, but it still has a very sentimental attachment to it. Children expect a lot. So you need to start having a conversation with children from now and say, listen, this Christmas we're not going to be able to give you what you're used to and explain that to them. So you have to have that sort of conversation. People give gifts very cheerfully. So, a lot of people give gifts just willingly to people they don't even know, just acquaintances with. You might have to choose your circle, your closer circle that you want to give gifts to. One of the things I do, for example, is I always buy my Christmas gifts like October, November, because people know that people get caught up and spend a lot during that time. They tend to raise prices closer to Christmas because people just spend without checking prices. You also are not going to be spending a lot of money on entertainment again. So look at that also. One of the things that COVID has done is move entertainment to a cheaper option, which is online. So why not have Zoom parties, for example, online parties, in terms of connecting with people overseas. You're not going to be making that trip anymore, so you can connect with people from overseas online. So those are some of the things that you can do. Stay at home, you cut down on a lot of expenses. If you do all of that, you can still have a very enjoyable Christmas, and at the same time, you're not spending the amount of money that you normally spend.
So we get the 12 days of Christmas, and what your true love gave to you last Christmas, or simply wanting to be the Santa Claus that's coming to town. But let's not forget to be frugal in it all. So as you plan for the season, consider ways to pinch your penny and make every cent count. Happy holidays.
Recover with integrity. Recover with integrity. We should all work together. One aim, one vision. In the fight against corruption, there is no division. United with the Integrity Commission. Let's stand up and make a healthy decision that we will not turn a blind eye. We will not lead secret lives. We will not accept no bribes. We will not push values aside.
A message from the Integrity Commission.
It would also be nice to get some peace this season and beyond, right? Despite what's happening around us, government continues to respond to those needs. Here's one push to use technology to create a safe Christmas and a safer Jamaica beyond the season.
The Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JSIF, is helping to build safer communities through the Jamaica Crime Observatory Enhancement Project. Established in 2011, the Jamaica Crime Observatory is a web-based crime and violence data bank hosted by the Ministry of National Security.
The project is seeking to enhance the capacity of the Ministry of National Security, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and a number of other stakeholders in their response to data collection, data entry, data dissemination, and data analysis. This is a World Bank funded initiative. It is valued at 44 million Jamaican dollars.
The upgrade to the system falls under JSIF's Integrated Community Development Project (ICDP). The aim of the ICDP is to improve basic infrastructure and social services delivered to 18 targeted at-risk communities. JSIF seeks to use data from the Crime Observatory to inform the planning of social and technical interventions to be implemented in these communities. To ensure a concerted approach towards crime prevention and management, a number of government entities supply statistics to the Crime Observatory. These include the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the Ministry of Health, the Registrar General's Department, and the Institute of Forensic Science and Legal Medicine.
We collect data from murder statistics to sexual offenses, suicide, traffic fatalities, hospital data, fatal shootings for various parishes in Jamaica.
The Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, is the primary source of data for the observatory. Under the project, the Statistics and Information Management Unit of the JCF has received handheld GPS devices to assist in increasing the accuracy of data collected.
From the perspective of the crime scene, the forensic crime scene analysts utilize the handheld devices provided by the Jamaica Social Investment Fund to map the exact location of each crime. The devices are also able to take photographs of the environment within which the crime occur. With that information, the analysts are able to get a better context within which the crime occur. And that has been very significant in our analysis process.
In addition, the gadget also assists us to be able to do analysis, temporal analysis of the time crime take place. If you plot those information on a graph, you can see over a period of time, you can be able to determine trend, so you can do trend analysis.
As part of the JCF funding, the unit also received laptops, desktop computers, firewall devices, servers, UPS devices, and software packages to improve the efficiency of processing the data collected.
It allows us to provide data to the Crime Observatory in a much faster turnaround time than the monthly cycle that we usually provide the data to the Crime Observatory.
Additionally, 2 data entry clerks have been employed by the unit to assist with the timely input of information into the system. The Ministry of National Security will also receive funding to engage the services of a crime analyst.
What the engagement of the crime analyst will do is that they will help with better forecasting and predicting utilizing data which is in the Crime Observatory.
The project, which started in 2017, will also fund the training of 7 Ministry of National Security staff and 8 persons from the Jamaica Constabulary Force in the areas of system maintenance, spatial analysis, and the use of ArcGIS software technology. Improvements to the Jamaica Crime Observatory are essential to various stakeholders in the formulation of policies and strategies to keep Jamaicans safe.
What the Crime Observatory is able to do is provide us with good, timely, accurate data for us able to craft our policies, and from crafting our policies we're able to then craft acceptable strategies to help with the crime and violence and citizen security.
With geographic information system, we can actually pinpoint the exact location of a crime. We can pinpoint the area, such as a shop or a bar, that is likely to be affected by a particular type of crime, which means that we can practice preventative policing. We can actually preempt what is likely to take place, put in strategy in order to prevent those occurrences.
Through the Jamaica Crime Observatory Enhancement Project, the Jamaica Social Investment Fund is enhancing the efficient collection and analysis of crime and violence statistics, building on the capacity of the government to better plan crime-fighting strategies.
If I cancel them you off, make sure you gon' get them done. That is how we are go trace them, identify them, tag it and trace it. Prevent disease from spreading, your health is worth defending. Tag it and trace it. You never think fi hide, tag them with pride. Help put the coat even out the style. Tag it and trace it.
A message from the Agricultural Competitiveness Program of the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries.
So earlier we saw technology improving security, but technology can also be a threatening tool, creating a space for things like cyber stalking. And even with the Christmas season, the increase in online shopping opens up that space even more. We're now going to share a story with you, a lesson to be more cautious in your online interactions.
Tonian Lati, and I am a victim of cybercrime. It started when my friends and I were in school, and we all received a friend request from a weird name. We didn't know who it was at the time, but because we all got the friend request, we figured more likely it was a real person, so everybody accepted this person. Wrong move. So everything was fine in the initial stages, but maybe like a week or two after everybody accepted the friend request, some strange things started to happen. They would send us messages, sometimes individually, or they'd send the same message to everybody just to see what kind of different responses we would have. And it was very weird, to say the least. But then after that, it's like they upped the ante a little bit to start. Well, they started to tell us things that we were doing and places that we were going and people that we were with, and it was just like, okay, do I know you? Well, we became very paranoid. It's sensitive information that this person is telling you, it's places that you never really announce it to people that you're going here. So when you see somebody send you a message to say, oh, you're here with this person and this person, you start to look at your friends now like, it's you, I know you're playing with me. You just talk the truth and let's move on. But it wasn't any of them. When everything happened, at that time we had a lecturer who was a DSP. So we started to get advice from him, asking, what to do, and at that point he told us that the best thing to do is stay as safe as possible, and so we started to leave school extra early. But we sort of just took matters into our own hands to try and find the person ourselves. We Googled how to trace IP addresses, and that's how we found out that the person who was doing this was actually a member of the school community, or they would be attached to the school Wi-Fi at the same time that we were at school. Eventually, it stopped because we made an uproar about it in spaces where we suspected the person was. So we began to speak very loudly about it. We let them know that we would be pressing charges and we'd go on with a bag of things. We didn't know who the person was, but we figured more likely that they heard us loud and clear. To this day, we don't have a definitive answer as to who the person was. Yes, we have our suspicions. But I can't really point at somebody to say, you are the person who was doing that. And that's a little scary to me. Looking back now, I think we all would have been much better off and a lot less paranoid if we kept ourselves to ourselves and only added people on social media that you know for a fact are your friends. If somebody doesn't have a profile picture, that's probably not somebody that you want to share your information with. To everybody else, I just say be very careful on social media because things and times have changed and there are some people out there with really malicious intent. So you just have to be very, very careful, be observant, be vigilant.
The Christmas trend today has changed a lot from previous times. So previous times you had big markets, there was a lot of home cooking. There's not a lot of home cooking anymore. People buy a lot of things, you don't get that sort of home cooked thing anymore. The people where, I remember my mother used to buy sorrel and she used to prepare the sorrel herself. Or you prepare the cake yourself rather than buying the cake now. My mother used to prepare the cake and prepare everything at home. So that's some of the things that people need to do. They need to look at maybe doing that preparation at home.
This is where we pull the curtains, but just for today's show, you can always count on Jamaica Magazine to be back on your screens tomorrow, and the days after that too. So while you wait for tomorrow, you could consider rewatching this and other past episodes on our YouTube channel. Also, visit the JIS's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages for more information. From all of us here at the JIS, I'm Theodore Henry. Continue to stay safe this holiday season, and see you soon.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.